And welcome back into For What It's Worth, episode 33. It's your two favorite guys, Tyrone, Thornton, Calvin, Silvers. We got week 2 NFL to talk about, even though they were trying to keep us up till the crack of dawn. Hey, Tyrone, I swear, man. Goodness sakes.
I do appreciate the doubleheader, but 9 o'clock start. I think on the East Coast, it started at 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
That's crazy. That's ridiculous.
Ridiculous. So they wouldn't have gotten over till what, like 1 a.m. over there in the East Coast?
To watch Geno Smith throw picks. Yeah, I'm cool.
Yeah, right. Just to watch Geno throw picks. I was going to say, it was
reading the kids' a story time book. I got you. Let's pick up another book, son.
Literally, because we're hitting the hay early. We're not staying up for this game. Yeah, it was brutal when it comes to in terms of Geno Smith's play. We'll probably talk about it here soon, but before we dive into any of the action, how was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty chill. I didn't really do too much. Saturday, I watched a lot of college football. I probably watched more college football than I watched like all of Saturday, like from when I woke up all the way into the Canelo fight and Crawford fight. I watched college football. So that was pretty cool. I actually sat there and watched all of those games. And Friday, I watched some high school football. I watched a lot of football this weekend. I watched high school football, college football, and then I watched the NFL. So that's literally, like, I'm not exaggerating. I coached a bunch on Sunday too. That's all I did. Watch football and coach. So I can't complain.
All right. So you'll be. I was gonna say I went to Iowa City, just enjoying the weekend, enjoying my Saturday. That's what I did. I went to Iowa City, went to the Iowa versus UMass game, tailgated. So that was a lot of fun. And then, Sunday was just driving back home, watching football. So it was a pretty chill weekend. I had a lot of fun. And then Friday was just heading there too. So it was good to be back in Iowa City. It's one of my favorite cities, in the United States. So it's always good to be back there and always good to watch an Iowa W. So
hold on, you said in the United States. Give me your top 3 places you want to visit outside the United States.
Japan would definitely be probably at the top. That's a good question. I would want to go somewhere like, this sounds kind of like cliche, but I've never been to like the Bahamas or in anything like that either.
The United States, great travel spot. I've been there one time when I was 12, but I don't think 12 is not the age to go to the Bahamas.
Yeah, right. So I've never been there. So I don't know about my third one, but I definitely want to go to Japan. That'd be number 1. I wouldn't mind. Give me something typical like a Paris or something. Something over there. Let me go see what that's all about. Let's go see the architecture and whatnot. So, what about you? What you got? Top 3 spots you want to go to?
I also would want to go to Japan.
Okay.
Give me Sydney, Australia. Underrated spot. Like people don't go there. Okay. Then also let me go with.
There's one. I'm surprised.
Egypt.
Really? Egypt's a good one. I might switch out Egypt for one of mine. I'm surprised you didn't say Dubai.
Yeah. I used to be infatuated with Dubai. I ain't gonna lie.
You did, man.
Dubai would be cool. Dubai would be really cool. I just feel like I don't got the bread to go to Dubai. I feel like that's like, even in my fantasy vacation to go to Dubai, you gotta be like the prince of some village or something. I don't know. You gotta have a lot of money, much more money than I have.
I was gonna say, it seems all luxury there, so I'm not really sure what it is.
I'm like, what? Don't touch his car. My bad.
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, can I get away with even walking around? They'll probably know right away that I stick out. So let's go ahead and talk in the United States. Stay within the NFL. Did you do your top 5 winners, losers, anything like that? Or okay,
I did. I'm looking at it right here.
All right, you want to start with winners or you want to start with losers?
Let's start with winners. Let's be on the positive side.
All right, you go first because I had my list last time. So give me a winner of yours for the weekend.
Just one? Does it have to be top 5 or any order?
Anyone you want to talk about?
I'm gonna go with Panay Soul Truthers. The meme of Joe Burrow when it's Joe Burrow to anybody in Panay Soul blocking and then a touchdown, and the one where it's him dropping back to Jamar Chase and he sacked. That came to real life. That's true. It's factual. The meme has actualized.
Mm-hmm. It has. That was another game where when you're looking at the Bengals, you're thinking, all right, let's get it going. Let's see that fast start. Let's see what you guys have. And once again, it was a close game. And then we see Joe Burrow go down with the turf toe. He's likely out now. What, 3 months? They said.
Yeah, not good.
Not Not
No.
not good.
Just looking at Joe Burrow, it's like obviously, me and you both, and everybody in general, believe that Joe Burrow is like his potential Hall of Fame MVP winning. His potential, he can do whatever he needs to do in the NFL. But it's like I don't know. It's getting kind of scary-ish. He's turf toe. 2 years ago, he had the wrist. He also had a torn ACL. Multiple levels of body injuries. Not the best. So I really do hope that, I don't even know if the Bengals can even pour assets into their offensive line because, I mean, they're kind of cooked cap-wise.
I'm kind of confused if you're, Joe Burrow, your O-line stinks. Like you just went over, you've had these injuries, at least it seems like every other year, if not one per year. You advocated to get, your receivers paid, Hendrickson paid. Why did you never say anything about your own line? Why didn't you ask to they spend big money somewhere? Anywhere on that line?
Maybe this is, the La GM aspect. Great
Yeah,
players don't know what it takes to make a great team. That's why GMs have to come and step in the way. And I guess, I guess you can go wrong listening to your star quarterback, but you also can't. I mean,
you
you
can't
hate
when
to
he's
see it.
healthy. You can't go
Yeah.
wrong when he's healthy. Yeah, when he's
Yeah.
healthy and he has those weapons, hell yeah. Hell yeah. But now he's hurt. So
And the
yeah,
season's
that's
over.
good to have those weapons for your backup. Makes your backup's job a little easier. But you know what I mean? But you're paying all this money into, weapons that aren't going to be utilized the correct way because you don't have the guy there in Joe Burrow. I just don't understand why O-line should have been more of a problem that you've needed to fix in my mind.
Yeah.
You should have kept one receiver, fix the O-line.
Battle line and a bad defense is just, I mean, you weren't going to win regardless.
Yep.
You're
And that's
just
what I'm
bound to
saying too. You're
lose.
putting all your money on the defense into one guy when the entire unit stinks.
Bad. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that, I mean, the Peninsula Truthers, the guys going back, and if we had a time machine, all of those guys would be 100% correct. So
All right.
they are winners of the week.
Winners of the week there. All right. I want to talk about a team that, again, I would put number one in my power rankings if the Eagles weren't coming off a Super Bowl. Again, for the second straight week for me, the Green Bay Packers are this week's winner in my eyes. Offense and defense. Kraft, best tight end in the league right now?
Playing like
Possible. He's playing like it. That's what I'm saying. The schedule that they have coming up, very, very attainable for them. They defeated 2 playoff teams in 5 days. That's huge. You hold two of the prolific offenses last season. You hold them to 31 points combined. They each scored 28 plus last season. So like I said, your defense is good. We already know that. Detroit and Washington had a total of 9 points through the first 3 quarters against this Packers defense. It's insane.
insane.
4 sacks, 12 quarterback hits against the Commanders. 4 days after having 4 sacks and 9 quarterback hits against the Lions because it was in that short span. And Nixon played good. Keyshawn Nixon targeted 6 times, 5 pass breakups. Daniels had a 39.6 rating when throwing that way. And Micah Parsons, again, disruptive. Even if it's not in the terms of sacks right now, which he's still getting some, but he seems to disrupt every play. So I got the Packers again as my winners. Again, took down the Lions. And think about it too. Look at what the Lions did this week.
Put the crazy belt to the Bears.
And
literally
then look at how
50
look
ball
how
in professional sports, letting other teams score 50 is insane.
Yep. And then look at how the Packers handled them last week.
Yeah. Packers
it's dangerous, man.
It's already like I really hope they're not peaking too soon, but they right now are look like they're coasting. They're coasting through these first 2 games. Like
They look
literally.
good, man.
They're really good.
These are 2 playoff teams.
I have nothing really negative to say about the Packers. Positive. I have them going to the Super Bowl. I'm not changing that pick at all.
Yep.
So I'm liking what I'm seeing there. And also, I really think Jordan Love, secretly, he's low-key in there. If they can have a good enough record, he will be in MVP talks at the end of the year. And I think that would be great if Jordan Love was in the MVP talks. Because we need another super-duper kind of young, elite quarterback in the NFC outside of Daniels.
I will say this. There's still a few throws I'd like to see Love hit more consistently, but you're right. He's getting there, Ty. He's playing pretty good. He's not playing elite this season, but he's playing pretty good this season.
And he'll probably have 2 or 3 games where he'll go off for 4 tuds, maybe 5 tuds, put up to 350 yards. I would like to think so. Packers, it's looking up and up. It's the Packers have the brightest outlook for the rest of the season as of now.
Yeah, knock on wood, no injuries. They should be fine. All right, give me another one of your winners of the week.
Another one of my winners. I would say this was a legacy-saving, Hall of Fame case building performance. I might have
this one too.
Russell Wilson. He almost lost his job. He almost lost his job. They were saying he might get benched, and he went, even though he lost, he went crazy. He saved his job, saved his legacy. Literally saved his legacy. He was about to get benched for Jackson Dart. That's insane. Shout out to Russell Wilson. That was fantastic.
I agree with you, man. I think this sideline Dart another couple weeks. I think they're in no rush to get him in there, especially if Russell can play like this. You would have liked to have seen the win. You would have liked to seen him play a tad better in overtime. I get that. But you're right. The way he played, and that just in the game before overtime, regulation, that was the word I was looking for, but I couldn't think of it. In regulation, yeah. Fantastic.
This is the definition of a legacy game to me.
Yeah.
They're saying you're about to get benched at the end of your career. That was his Super Bowl. So I'm about to leave it all out on the field.
That was vintage Russ. That was, we went in a time machine. We went back. We saw him in the Seahawk days. It was beautiful. 450 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Man, I know he's jumping. I know we'll get to this later at some point, but I know he's jumping up and down looking at the film of the Chiefs secondary. Ooh.
I didn't say Chiefs look. We will get to that. I won't. Yeah, we'll get to that here in a second. But yeah, Wilson, like I said, it was vintage. I mean, he went back in time. 7 of 9 deep passes he completed. 264 yards. That was the most deep passing yards in a game in the next gen stats era. So since 2016, he was letting it fly. So yeah, you want to see that win though. That is a divisional game. You would have liked to have seen him at least, being the veteran, will them to the win in overtime. I totally get that. But you're also going against Dak, who's playing also pretty good at the start of the season.
Fact. He's also I'm quietly thinking of my MVPs. If the Cowboys can get I think Dak has put himself in the Joe Burrow position of, if my team makes the playoffs and I have crazy good stats, people will put me in the MVP conversation. And at this rate, he probably will be if they get 9, 10 wins.
He could even be like that 4th spot.
Yeah, he'll get some votes if he just continues this pace.
Yep. But as I mentioned, could Russ have played better in overtime? Sure. Yeah, he could have. But also, he did everything he needed to in regulation. And the fact that they were in that reach says something, because they were penalized 14 times for 160 yards.
That's crazy.
You can't win a game doing that.
Somebody's helmet behaviors. Come on, man. Come on.
And had all those penalties right at the beginning. Yeah, it's terrible, dude. So they probably could have won that if you get rid of those penalties. So could just be, early on in the season that gets fixed. And then I said at the beginning, this could be a sneaky team, not a playoff team per se, or winning a playoff game. But I thought they were going to be sneaky in the division. So if they could fix those penalties, they easily could have got a win in their division and kind of would have stood true to what I said. So there's still obviously 15 more games that have to be played this season. They could fix that. Really depends too what they do with Russell and Jackson Dart. But I agree with you. I think Dart gets sidelined just a few more weeks now.
He has to.
Russ bottom
at
some
least
more time.
3 to 4 weeks. 400 yards, 450 yards.
Yep.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. So they face, as you mentioned, the Chiefs next week, and we'll get to that here in a bit. I'm going to go to my next, since we both had that as our winners of the week. Let's just continue on the winners trend. We already kind of talked about it, so we don't have to spend too much time on it, but there are some stats here I want to throw out. You know me, I'm a big stats guy as well. Winner for me as well this week was the Lions offense, especially after that last week. They were just looked bland, kind of boring. Jared Goff didn't look that good, but man, he turned around this game. Talk about someone that turned it around. Russell did it, and then here comes Jared Goff as well. 23 for 28, 334 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Didn't commit a turnover either. Didn't take a sack. So he was very, very efficient. I mean, I think he narrowly missed a perfect passer rating. I think one of his passes was behind or something like that, so just missed it. But again, very close to having a perfect passer rating. Just looked really good. Didn't take a sack. Didn't commit a turnover. Kind of looked like he did last season before we hit the playoffs there, or just before a lot of people started getting hurt. And then against the Bears, the Lions allowed a pressure rate of 12.8%. So their O-line was also fantastic. That was the second lowest pressure rate allowed. So again, your O-line's playing well. Your quarterback's playing well. You have the weapons. You have the run game. So I was a little worried that week one, but seeing him get this going in week two, because I was kind of questioning the offensive coordinator, it's good to see. And I think they had to, Dan Campbell was really feeling some pressure, and I think he really had him, ready to go for week two.
No, I agree. I also had this down. Well, I put Dan Campbell as the winner, but overall,
Okay.
the same sentiment, same exact thing. We're on the same page. This was the very rare week 2 must-win game for the Lions. It would be really bad if you are 0-2, came off a Packers somewhat beatdown. You lose to Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. That would not be the best look. So this was a week 2 must-win, and they won. So they're winners of this week as well. It felt good. It felt like a classic, of this iteration of Lions. It felt like a classic Lions game. If you just put this in a montage of all of their games in the last 2 years, it will blend right in. So good for them. Hopefully this keeps going. I was willing to shut the window on the Lions, but I'll open it back up. They're making some noise in there, so good for the Lions.
Yeah, good for the Lions as well. And as I mentioned, just the fact that, and two, we got to remember that week 1 game was, in our mind, against the best team in the NFL, or if not one of the best teams in the NFL in the Packers. I mean, that defense is crazy. I went over everything that they were doing. You know what I mean? Just a few minutes ago. So not saying that's an excuse, because if you want to win the Super Bowl, you're going to, you got to beat the best of the best. So I get that regard. But the fact that you could bounce back, like you said, against Ben Johnson, your former offensive coordinator, and put up that many points, that's good. That's a good sign. Not now, if you lost, Ben Johnson hung 50 on you and you only scored like 20. Oh, yeah. Yeah, very bad.
I wouldn't say the seat would be hot, but the seat's temperature would definitely be a little bit warm.
Are you saying that for Campbell, or are you saying that for the OC they just hired?
Everybody.
No, everybody. All right, that's fair.
Yeah,
I think Dan
maybe
Campbell,
we made the wrong decision. Maybe
I don't know. I think Dan Campbell's a little more safe than you think. I don't know if the Lions
he is
losing
pretty
him.
well loved in Detroit. He is pretty well loved.
He's given them the most success that they've had in a very long time. I'm not sure they would risk it. But their OC, I could see if they only hung 15, 20 and got beat by, then the Bears hung like 30 plus, I could see maybe him getting pulled in the office and being like, you're on a thin ice already.
Actually,
so
I think if anybody would be left, or the blame in this line situation, I think it would be Jared Goff before any of them. But he also bought out. Everybody's safe. That win made everyone's
safe.
Organization safe. Everybody's good now.
And I mentioned too, if that online, and this is true for probably 99% of quarterbacks, if not 100, but yet just giving him the time that they did, them playing as well as they did, the Lions recorded the 3rd highest explosive rate in the NFL this week at 17.2%. So that means out of their 28 pass attempts, a little more than 1 out of every 5 went for a gain of 16 or more. So he bought time. He got to find the deep route. Or if not, if it wasn't even that, it was the fact that his receivers did something after the catch. Again, you have weapons. So everyone, like you just said, everyone's safe this week. Everyone took a big breath. The defense looked good. Offense looked good. Quarterback looked good. Weapons looked good. O-line looked good. Blah, 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 blah. All right. You got another winner for me?
I got this is my number one winner. Number one winner of the week. The Colts front office and the Colts coaching staff. Everybody involved over there is right. About a month ago, people were saying benching Anthony Richardson is the stupidest thing you could do. You're giving up on your number one, blah, 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 blah. Ted DeBush, he's only 20 years old. He's only, but shut up. Even though they beat my Broncos, which that's besides the point. I don't think the first game, they didn't punt at all. Or,
nope.
No, I think the first game they scored on every possession, right?
Yep.
And then against the Broncos, supposedly a good defense, They didn't punt at all. So like they're just scoring points. They're putting up points, and at this point, it's undeniable. It's undeniable. 2 wins like that in a row. I'm
Okay, I
not
will
that
ask
I'm
you this though.
convinced. Not convinced, but
Yep.
that
Okay.
is. I don't think Anthony Richardson is doing that. Actually, I know for a fact.
I don't
I
think he's gonna
know
be
for
there.
a fact. If he would have played for the Colts last week, the Broncos would have won that game probably by 20 points.
So does this not worry you at all? This is kind of like a Saints situation last year when they put up 71 points through 2 weeks, and Derek Carr and everyone's like, oh, this offense, and then saw what happened, the rest of the way. Does that worry you at all with this
Me,
team?
as an outsider, yes. But if I was actually inside of the building as the Colts front office and then the owner is coming to talk to me, I would say, look at what we did. This is the decision we made, and this is the outcome of what we made. We
I
could
will
suck
say,
the rest of these games, but we at least are not fired. You need to let us rock the rest of the season, the entire season. And even if things go bad, guess what? Let's put in Anthony Richardson. Let's put him back in. Put him back in. This has potentially saved people from not getting fired before Thanksgiving. I bet we can at least celebrate Thanksgiving. Yes.
I was gonna say, and two, for me, yeah, there's a little worry there. I don't think it'd be as big of a drop off as the Saints last year, but the Colts just have a better built roster, anyways.
Yeah, they have good players on their team.
Yeah, so I think they're better off than the Saints are, anyways. But it is kind of like a deja vu almost. You have this team no one really thought highly of, comes out and just goes nuts the first 2 weeks.
They play the Titans next week too, so they're probably starting out 3-0.
They
play the
possible.
Titans 3-0. They're gonna be number one in the AFC South.
Which is kind of crazy, actually.
They number one. Yeah, that's crazy.
Because I was thinking Texans there, and yeah, the fact that Texans 0-2, so I think I actually have them as a loser, so I'll save that for later. All right, I'm gonna go to my other winner here. I think I have 2 more. I'll try to make this quick. One of them, though, we got to talk about it. I was not hating, but maybe not getting full props. I don't know if I'm ready to still give full props, but Baker Mayfield is a winner for me this week. Defeated the Texans 20-19. Obviously not solely him, but he did lead the game-winning drive. So I like to say that he had a big part in defeating the Texans there. And it was both with his arms and legs. That's the thing with Baker. It's not just, he's only good at running, or he's only good at, when he has time in the pocket. No, he can do it all. 25-38 for passing, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. And again, the big thing with him, no interceptions. Now, there's one time, he fumbled. They jumped on it. There's another time that was underthrown, should have been picked. So there was moments where he about had his Baker Mayfield moment, plays so well and just does something stupid. Almost had it, but he didn't. So maybe he's on the right track this season. And if he is, this is a very scary team in the NFC. But 11-play game-winning drive. He was 7 of 9, 63 yards. And then the biggest play of that drive, maybe the game, when he used his legs on that 4th and 10, 15-yard scramble. Got under the defender, just sprinted. Everyone went in coverage, which is, again, kind of dumb because he can use his feet. This isn't a secret. We know he has the running ability. So, but that's just, he took what the defense give him. So he's coming off 2, Ty, back-to-back game-winning drives. He captured one last week against Atlanta. So he's got 2 big moments in his belt already this season. 2 game-winning drives, no mistakes.
I'm in the same boat as you. I am not. There are people that love Baker Mayfield. I am not a person that loves him. I don't hate him.
I don't love him. Yeah,
I don't love him. Don't hate him. But I will give, like you're saying, I'll give him his respect where it's due. 2 wins against 2 teams that are pretty quality, pretty regular, solid NFL teams. They don't suck. They're not elite. They have pretty decent quarterback play, and you took your team down the field and won the game. That's respect, Baker Mayfield. I do want to see this. I think the Falcons and Bucks competition for this division is gonna really come down to the wire. But if Emeka Ibuka can continue to play like this, the Bucks would be almost. I think they'll be scary if he can continue to play how he's playing. He's paced to be the best receiver on their team.
We got Mike Evans out there too.
Yeah, like I don't know.
You got 2 starting running backs too. Honestly,
yeah.
Bucky Irving was
good.
fantastic.
White's good.
Ty, that's a really good team. Here's their problem: they got to stay healthy, man.
Yeah, they got. They had a bunch of injuries that game. Their line's pretty beat up.
Yep, that's their one problem, man. If they can get Wirf's got to get back. If they can get back to healthy, ooh, do they beat the Packers though? I don't think so. That's the thing.
No.
I can maybe see them competing
Packers
with the
or
Eagles.
no.
But
I
you don't
wouldn't say
okay.
them in the Lions. I would. It can be argued. Can be depends on what you're going, where you're going.
Well, another team too. I mean, we haven't talked Rams. That's another NFC team that's sneaky. If
I got my foot
Stat,
out on the Rams. I don't.
okay.
Not a fan of 37-year-olds winning things outside of LeBron and Tom Brady.
All right, fair
I
enough.
will pull back on anybody that's that old. That's just me though.
All right, fair enough. Last thing I want to say on this, then we'll move on to I think your final winner. Maybe I think it's your final one.
Yeah.
Here's a stat for you. I'll leave it on this because it kind of shocked me too. Since 2024, so since last season, Baker Mayfield's passer rating in the fourth quarter is 114.9. He's trailing only Lamar Jackson in that category. So
That's
he's
great.
stepping up in the fourth quarter.
It's great company. That's a pretty good stat. I didn't know that. Also,
That's what I'm saying.
that's he has credit. He has respect. People
He has
want to throw him
respect.
in the.
He
I would
does.
say right now he's a top 10 quarterback as we speak.
Right now, yeah. Right now.
And considering that Burrow's
What
out,
we've
probably
seen, yes.
slides up a little more. Top 5, I don't think. I think there's a solid lid to no right there. No,
Yeah.
but you can be around there.
Yeah.
Around the
I think top 10 right now is fair. Right now,
yeah, you can give him that.
And
Hey,
through
good
2
job,
weeks,
Baker.
what we saw last year through 2 weeks, that's fair for me. All right, what was your last winner that you had?
My last winner is the Bills and the Ravens, not for winning their games, but because the Chiefs lost.
There you go.
Assuming the Chiefs even if they get back on pace, get back on track, dropping it's not. They're already behind in the AFC race for first place. Whatever team does get first place, obviously they're gonna have a good record, and you're basically competing for the 2 or 3 seed at this point, and that's this makes the path to another Super Bowl a lot harder. You're gonna have to play Lamar and Josh Allen. Which I'd rather want to play one of them. Playing 2 of them, not ideal. So those are my winners. Whoever's the ones to get out of those 2, that's a small one. My honorable mention, I really should have put this one third because I thought this one last. Honorable mention winner this week is Mac Jones. You back up, you play, you start, you ball out. Heck yeah.
Yep. Yes. Was it against the Saints? Yeah, it was a pretty bad team. But the fact that, you get in there, no mistakes, 3 touchdowns, just get in the system, the Shanahan system.
Don't let him get on a win streak.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you get in the system, it can work. I'm saying this was against the Saints, though. Let's just remember that. But I'm agreeing with you to the extent of get him in the system, maybe face a more decent team, build a confidence because you're in the system, start stacking some wins, man. We've seen them do it with some quarterbacks.
It might turn into that one meme. I ain't never seen a quarterback do it like that. He ain't never been a mistake.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, he could. I mean, he might have Brock Purdy sweating over there. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know it would go that far. But anyways, let's end up with my winner, my last one. The Chargers. I think just the entire Chargers team. Yeah, I was against the Raiders, sure, but it's kind of the same thing as what you were saying. Now you are 2-0 in the division. Chiefs haven't won yet. The fact that you are 2-0 in your division when everyone else isn't. And the fact that you're stacking all these wins early, that also, I don't know if that's good or bad. But the fact I have them as my last winner because you're now 2-0 in the division. You look good. Herbert's looking good. Your run game surprisingly isn't. And that's what this team is supposed to be built on.
Their receiving core is now sneakily good.
It's good.
Sneakily good.
Yeah. Keenan Allen. It's funny because just 2-3 weeks ago on our first episode back, I remember you're like, oh, Keenan Allen.
I thought he was going to be clutch. I'm not going to lie. Came back perfectly fine.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. I was kind of on the same boat. I thought he'd still be a good presence to have there, but I didn't think he'd be this much of an impact this early. We'll see if that continues through. But yeah, sneaky good wide receiver room. But their defensive back, their secondary, I think each of them recorded 2 pass breakups at least in this Raiders game. As we mentioned, Geno could not throw the ball downfield at all. He tried 11 passes more than 10 yards down the field, didn't complete any of them. had 3 interceptions when he tried. Yeah, so the secondary even looked good. It wasn't just Justin Herbert. Now, LA did allow 2 sacks, but you're going against Max Crosby. This line, you lost your left tackle at the beginning of the season. Crosby only had 2 pressures on 30 opportunities. So they did really good there too. So we saw them handle. Now, the Chiefs' defensive line isn't really much right now, but they held them with this O-line that's quote-unquote makeshift, and they held the Raiders, who have someone like Max Crosby. They kept him under wraps. So everyone's looking good for this team right now, except for probably the run game. You'd like to see that. But through 2 games, Justin Herbert is the first quarterback in Chargers franchise history to start the season with consecutive games featuring at least 70% completions, 2 touchdowns, and 0 picks.
Let me add Phillip Rivers to the losers list.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Because now, it's starting to get kind of scary, because if Justin Herbert can now get to the playoffs and start racking up a few wins there, Phillip Rivers, he could quickly be moved over, and here comes this new shiny toy here of Justin Herbert. So, but yeah, all right, you ready to go to our losers?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to start here. I know I just got done talking, but I am going to start, and then I'll let you go since you started with the winners. Let's pick one of the more obvious ones here. JJ McCarthy and the Vikings. Oh my goodness. They are losers of the week. Just more specifically, JJ McCarthy, because now he's hurt. And I don't know if it's truly because he's hurt, or if they're scared that he might not be the guy and they might have to go to the backup, at least for a few more games.
I don't know what he'll do if he gets in the game. I'm going to be honest. I don't know what he can do. I don't know if he'll play. I don't know. Carson Wentz is such I feel like he's a player that I feel like when we get older and we describe our kids who Carson Wentz is, it's going to sound like he's not a real player.
No, for real.
One season how do you balling out MVP caliber, and then he was the backup for the Vikings in 2025.
I'm going to say the only thing we have to go off of is his game against Denver, where you guys won 38-0 last year against KC. He only had 17 attempts, completed 10, 98 yards, and no touchdowns, no interceptions. Yeah, not much there. But hey, if you want to go to that Cleveland game, he was 2 for 2 for 20 yards.
Heck yeah. Wasn't saying. I do think looking back, he's played 2 games. JJ McCarthy, he's played 1 good quarter. He's played 1 good quarter of football. Well. Great comeback against the Bears and Caleb Williams. But outside of that, I would rate his performance a D. C- being really, really reaching, giving him some hope. Probably a solid D is what I rate him. D. But that's not too bad. I think just we're in a generation of, rushing these quarterbacks. But they do have a team that's built to win now. So I guess that is just the
and I think that's probably why they were all right with keeping him and just thinking that he's going to be able to get the ball to, Jefferson. But then they lose Aaron Jones as well. So there goes part of your running game. Your quarterback now is injured, quote unquote. We'll see how long. But I think you got to go with the D rating. 37.5 passer rating, one of the lowest among qualified quarterbacks in week 2. 52.4 completion rate, 158 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He also had that lost fumble, the strip sack. He struggled under pressure. Slow decision-making. He had the longest hold time of the football, 3.35 seconds. Bro, you got to know that's way too long.
He might be the worst quarterback in that draft class. Actually, no, I'm going to stick to my guns. I've always thought that he was the worst quarterback in that quarterback class of the year 2 quarterbacks. And I think it's just probably true. I don't know what he really does. I just don't see it. I really don't see it at all. After his week 1 win, I guess he was clutch, so he could live off that. But probably not looking too good for him. I don't really know what they're going to do.
Yep.
I don't know.
I don't either.
It's a weird, they're just in a weird spot. Their team is too good for them to even consider rebuilding or doing any of that. So they're just going to have to roll him out and just pray that he is not just.
Or you hope you got lightning in a bottle with Wentz. But the fact that he's got to
really
try to come in this early and then sustain, it's a pro and a con. get Wentz in this early, get him action early, obviously get him, back into quote unquote NFL game shape, blah, blah, blah. But also, too, it's a curse because someone like Carson Wentz, can he really sustain a whole season's worth of getting you to the playoffs if need be? I don't know.
Heck no.
It's been a while since.
No. There's a reason why he's been a backup for all these years.
That's what I'm saying. So it's because, you could maybe get lightning in a bottle, 5 great games from him in a row, maybe even 5 good ones, something like that. And if it was towards the end of the year, that's when you need it. But if you get it at the beginning of the year, what is that? What good does it? Yeah, maybe you get enough wins to stay afloat the rest of the season, then you barely make the playoffs. But then again, you barely make the playoffs, you lose, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. So last thing I'll say, and then we'll go to your first loser. 8.6% of his passes were off target. That was tied for second highest among qualified quarterbacks in week 2. All right. Just play terrible. What was one of your losers?
I'm going to start off with something that hits a little bit personal to me. I'm going to go with the entire Broncos defense.
Yep. Go ahead. Have your moment.
Broncos defense. I understand in the game, PS2 tweaked his ankle, which is fine. PS2 could tweak his ankle. That's okay. He came back in the game. He wasn't really looking the same. It's PS2, the reigning defensive player of the year. He didn't even really have a bad game. He just tweaked his ankle and wasn't moving the same. That's all right. You get a pass this time, PS2. Sadly, Riley Moss getting toasted. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. The Broncos secondary absolutely getting put on blast by Daniel Jones. I thought our cornerbacks were supposed to be locking up. I don't think we can run man defense. Also, last year we led the leagues in sacks. We only had 1 sack yesterday. 1 sack. 1 sack.
Yep.
Jonathan Franklin Myers is requesting the bag this offseason. Supposedly, he's on a contract year. Mm-hmm. He's just, supposed to be getting a decent amount of money. He recorded 0 tackles. 0 tackles. This is supposed to be a team that's supposed to have an elite defense. Elite. People are talking about Bo Nix is washed. He sucks. He's not good. He's a bust. He balled out. Bo Nix went crazy. He had one bad play.
Really good this time.
But 3 touchdowns and a pick from Bo Nix. Give me that. I'll sign up for that every single game. Every game. Marvin Mims stepped up. He got in the end zone. Troy Franklin Jr. got in the end zone. All the offensive players, they're playing pretty good. They're locked in. And also, I don't know if you got a new special teams coach. I don't blame that penalty on you. But that's 2 games we've lost to special teams in the past 2 years. That's too many. That is too many games lost on special teams. So the entire Broncos defense, Vance Joseph, everybody over there, you guys need to figure it out. You need to figure all that out because the defense is supposed to be our worst case scenario. We'll just play a close defensive game. I guess not. I guess not. That's my loser of the week. That's just my personal one. And I'm not even I'm more not even there's some games when you lose and you're sad. Man, we could have won that one. We lost, and I was like, yeah, we deserve to win. We deserve to lose. We deserve to lose. We let the Colts and Daniel Jones, who I personally think sucks, but apparently we making him look real good. We're making him look real good. Come on. That's just we're supposed to, people talking about going to the AFC Championship game, winning the AFC West, and you're letting Daniel Jones do all that. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. Man, they ain't let me.
You're letting Daniel Jones do that. What are you gonna let Justin Herbert do?
People start on the D line. On the D line, getting 0 tackles. On the D line, they run past you every play.
Can't even just stick your arm out there and just hope they run into it.
Just fall down. Those are my losers for the week. Letting Daniel Jones have he also had a legacy game against you.
Yep.
One game though doesn't really matter. The fact that Bo Nix played good is a positive. Hopefully the defense will not suck that badly.
I'd say mixed bag, I think, this week for the Broncos. I think it's truly a mixed bag because, like you said, you see your offense shows life, Bo Nix finally, and then your defense shits the bed. So pick and choose. I'm going to pull a you here real quick because you talked about the Broncos defense being losers. I got the Chiefs offense being losers again for the second straight week in a row. I don't know if I specifically talked about the offense last week, but they were a loser, at least honorable mention loser. So 2 weeks in a row for me that this offense is just, it's head scratching, Tyrone, especially the run game. Let me ask you this. When you look at that backfield, not Mahomes, I'm talking about the running backs. Who are you scared of? No one.
Nobody. Maybe
No one. And that's the
Kareem Hunt. Maybe
problem.
Kareem Hunt on 3rd and 1. Maybe.
Maybe. But even then, you on 4th down, you try to get cute with it. You handed it off, and he just put it behind a fullback. What is going on? There is no one is going to, the defense knows you're going to try to pass it, or at least they know that if you give it to Pacheco, his head's down. He just runs straight. So he's missing the holes. He's missing the gaps. He's just going to run into you. Pacheco, Hunt, yeah, his vision's way better. He's 30 years old. When he gets out in open space, what is he going to do? He's not elusive. His body doesn't work like that. They have no threat of a run game. I said this last week, and I'm saying it again. They are so one-dimensional. And you don't have your 2 top receivers. That even makes you more one-dimensional. So you can't even rely on a run game. Pacheco has not been a game breaker since week 2 of last season. I know he got hurt too last season. But he has not been any form of a game breaker since then. Mahomes is leading this team in rushing. He's on pace for over 1,000 yards this season, Ty. In the league right now, if you were to get on your computer, type in NFL rushing leaders, I'm not shitting you. Mahomes is 16th. He is 16th right now. You cannot have your franchise quarterback out there like a running back lowering his shoulder. What are we doing? The run game averages 2.9 yards a carry, and you have Mahomes out there lowering his shoulder for you. His 123 rushing yard Mahomes, that's more than the 2 running backs combined. Tyrone, it's bad. This offense is bad. I get it. You don't have your 2 wide receivers. You're going to get them back. That's going to help a little bit. But if you have no threat of a run game, defenses know where you're going. Defenses know what you want to do. And also the fact that Mahomes still doesn't have a great O-line, you don't get his arm going early, so when he needs to throw deep balls at the end of the game, half of them are not on target because he hasn't had the chance to let it go. So now he's getting his arm warmed up in the final 4 minutes down deep. It's pathetic. The only time, literally, last game, tied his career high, went over his career high in regular season rushing. The only times he's rushed more is in 2 playoff games that both went into overtime. So the fact that you're relying on him running this much in week 2, when the only times you need his legs that much were in 2 postseason games in overtime, that says something. Last thing I'll say, and then I'll get off this soapbox of mine here. I don't know if it's Reed. I don't know if it's Nagy. I don't know. But since Nagy has come into the building, this has become stale. It's become predictable. I get it. You lose a lot of players the past couple seasons, but your offense isn't the same. Under Bieniemy, they scored 27 plus points in 62% of regular season games. But with Nagy, again, smaller sample size. He hasn't been there as long. But so far in his tenure, they've scored 27 plus points in a regular season game 31.5% of the time. They were doing it 62% of the time with Bieniemy. So whether it's Reed's play calling, whether it's Nagy's play calling, I don't know what it is, but there needs to be a new voice in there. You're keeping the same coordinators year after year. What is changing? Nothing is changing. I think the game's catching up to Andy Reid as good as he is. We kind of saw him have, a downfall in Philly as well. I'm not saying he's there yet with the Chiefs, but man, Ty, I know I went a little longer than you did with the Broncos, and I'm sorry, but this offense, you're wasting a generational quarterback right now. Because you don't have a run game. All-time legend.
More than generational.
So that's all I got there for the Chiefs, man. Their defense stepped up a little bit, thankfully. They're still not getting a lot of pressure, as I'd like to see. But yeah, they are my biggest losers of the week. Chiefs offense. Just absolutely pathetic. No threat of anything.
The Chiefs are in a great position. This next game is the most obvious or most needed bounce back game if there's ever been one. This is 100%. A must bounce back. I'm 100% confident the Chiefs will win because there's no way they lose.
There's no way they lose, man.
Next game is, according to those other 3 games, not only is it a must win, it's a must play well. If you are coming off of, even if you beat the Giants and it's like a kind of, your offense isn't clicking and it's not that good, and you go and play the Ravens, I don't know. It took Josh Allen heroic performance to beat them.
The only thing that's beneficial to the Chiefs is you get Ravens at home, you get Lions at home.
That is true. That is true.
That's
Shout
the
out
but
to the NFL for blessing Kansas City
yep.
fans.
But I'm 100% with you, Ty. If they don't, well, if they don't win this game, playoffs are probably gone, which is crazy to say because you have
Low
Ravens
key,
after that. You have Ravens after that. I don't know if they can do it, Ty. You're at home though.
that would be like, I don't even think you would be motivated to try to come back. That would be like sadness.
Someone has to get fired at that point. Someone. I'm not saying it needs to be Andy
You're telling
Reid,
me
but
something Chiefs lose, somebody has to get fired next week.
someone has to. It could be the offensive line coach. That's fine.
Somebody has to go.
Someone has to go. Someone has to go. If it's Andy Heck, it's Andy Heck. I don't care. If it's Matt Nagy, it's Matt Nagy. I can tell you it's probably not going to be Spagnuolo and it's probably not going to be Andy Reid. So you're probably looking at, like I said, Andy Heck or Matt Nagy. But yeah, someone would have to go. All right, we're getting up there. I'm just going to give one more loser, but I know it's your turn. So give me your last biggest loser that you have out of because I think you would have two left. Who's your biggest?
Yes. I'm gonna go with.
Or go quickly through both if you want. That's
Mike
fine.
McDaniels. He's the hottest seat in the NFL. His job is probably gone. They play the Bills. They play the Bills in Thursday Night Football. They're gonna get beat by like 75 points. He might get fired. He might get fired depending on how Thursday Night Football goes because they could really get in there and get absolutely embarrassed.
I think you're right. I think if they get absolutely embarrassed in a divisional game, even though it's the Bills, I think they might fire him after that game. If it's that bad.
They really might. Fire him and say, somebody give me a trade offer for Tyreek Hill. I will accept it.
Because at that point, that's the cream of the crop in your division. So if you can't play competitive with them, when are you going to start playing competitive with them under him? So I agree with you. If it's that bad, or they just look out of it,
it really
or don't care anymore.
It really could get that bad. Like honestly, I don't see why it couldn't be.
If I'm the Bills, divisional foe. But that's the thing. These divisional games are always so weird. But anyways, I agree with you. He probably does have the hottest seat right now.
Yeah, his seat is like he probably is packing things up. He needs to get that resume nice and tidy.
He might already have it. Yeah, he might be updating that resume as we speak.
Yeah, looking for some new schools for his kids across the country. Like maybe do some nice private schools over here. I don't know.
Does he have kids?
I don't know.
I don't know either. No, I know what you mean, but like, I don't even know if he has kids. But that's fine.
Start talking to some realtors around. See what this house is worth on the market. Something. That's funny. I honestly, I do not dislike him as a coach either. I just think the situation in Miami became not even bad. Like I feel like it's toxic. It's a toxic situation. Tyreek Hill's mixed in there. The whole Tua situation's mixed in there. I just feel like Miami in general, there's always some sort. You know what I mean? Well, I get those kind of vibes from like the Miami college football teams too. Like there's just maybe it's just too hot and nice weather over there.
Well, you had the Brian Flores thing too. Like there's just a lot with that organization.
Yeah. So a lot of people are saying on Eagles Twitter that they want to fire their offensive coordinator and hire McDaniels. I'm like, I'd be solid. I would be a fan
better. He's probably better as a coordinator than he is probably as a head coach.
Yeah, he's probably he'll be a fire coordinator. Just make some your tricky offensive plays and do all that. Heck yeah.
I think I'm totally making this up on the spot. But I truly think that he can connect with younger players more than he can with the older veterans. So if you have a team that's more veteran led or more veteran focused, I don't know if he's necessarily a good fit for that either. But yeah, I think he'd be a good coordinator. So, was there another loser you want to go through, or did you want to end?
I'll list off all my other ones. They're kind of small. I didn't really have that many losers. I put Bengals fans in general. They're just going to be sad because their season's done. Then I put Trevor Lawrence ? He
keeps slipping.
He's just so mid. And probably the biggest one left is just Ben Johnson and the Bears and Caleb Williams. I don't really know who to put. One of those three, if not the whole team in general, because they just once you get embarrassed like that, I mean, actually, I'm going to take Ben Johnson off. This is his second week in there. Caleb Williams and the rest of Ryan Poles. Ryan Poles is the loser. He's actually the loser. He's the mastermind behind all this. Yeah, that's the loser.
Yep. I'm going to say my last one that I would put is just the Texans. That O-line, still bad. Offense can't score.
I see a lot. I mean, they're saying in the group chat yesterday, I don't really think C.J. Stroud sucks. I'm looking, his O-line is is bad.
Bad.
And
Tampa,
their receiving core is still hurt from last year. Like they're not really working with the two Iowa State receivers are getting actual playing time.
I'm gonna say they're rookies. Yeah. Yep. So I they have the pieces there, and that's the thing that's kind of makes me mad about this team. But their O
And
line is
Mixon's
really
hurt
that bad.
too.
Yep. That's another thing. Tampa, this game marked the sixth time with 20 or fewer points for this Texans team since week 15 of 2024. That's tied for most in the NFL over that span, including playoffs.
That's
That
bad.
they have gone 20 or fewer points with someone like CJ Stroud. Took 3 sacks in this game. Again, just showing how bad this O-line is. No misdirection plays, no creative bends in that offense. Kind of also bland. The play selection in the red zone, terrible. It's all overall. The defense is all right.
The fact that they didn't score on that when they got to the one, that's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah, their defense has only given up 34 combined points. That's 7th fewest in the NFL. So their defense is all right. Their defense is doing what it needs.
Their defense is elite. Also, if I was an NFL team, I know every team isn't as good as this. After one, I'm just doing the tush push. I'm doing it 4 times in a row. I don't care. I'm doing it at this point. The Eagles do it.
Yeah,
literally, let's do it. I'm hiring a tush push coordinator. Hey, go watch how they do the tush push.
Yeah, how they do it, or try to get someone from the Eagles.
We're going to teach us how to do that specific one play.
I truly think, though, it does somewhat come down to who you have on your team.
It must be, because if I was,
I think all the other teams.
I seen a high school team do the tush push,
and it worked.
Friday, it worked.
All right,
they did it twice in a row too.
Dang. I said there's a couple. I can't remember what year specifically it was, but there was one year Iowa always ran a quarterback sneak and it always worked. It's always fun to see that. But yeah, so last thing I'll say, and then we'll wrap it up with this Texans team, because they are on the verge, like the Chiefs, of going 0-3. A team that that we thought could win the division, a team that we thought could make the playoffs from the AFC, could go 0-3. They face Jacksonville, so very possible. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's a good game. I would watch that game in full.
Be a good game.
That's a
secondary is going to need to step up there for the Texans, and more so creating turnovers. We know, like you mentioned, Trevor Lawrence, very mid.
He'll give it to you.
He'll give it to you. So let's see it. Let's see it. That's what I'm saying. So let's if you want to win this game, you got to get turnovers. Again, as you mentioned, receivers need to get more involved, but it's hard to when you have some rookies out there, but you got to get them more involved. More specifically, Nico Collins, which they were trying to do. Obviously,
it's hard to hit them on them. When you don't got no line, it's hard to hit that deep ball.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just so hard.
So I think it's really going to come down to not only can that secondary, when they decide to pass, get turnovers from Lawrence, but can your run defense stop ETN, who's leading the league right now in yards, rushing yards? It's going to be an interesting game. I'm excited for it. But yeah, Texans were my other loser of the week. So that is all we had here. That was fun. Top 5 winners, losers, had good combos. And like I said, I think this way it really allows us to hit all the major games, all the major things, all the major headlines that people want to hear anyways. Because, if we went through every single game, that might get boring for some people. So I like doing it this way. We'll probably try to keep this format as we go. But Ty, is there anything else you wanted to say, whether about the show, whether about life, whether about the NFL, anything you want to say at all?
Nah, man, I think we got it all. I do want to say this, a stat of the day. Lamar Jackson currently has the highest passer rating of all time as of right now, of any quarterback ever, like of their career. It's a true stat. Hopefully he keeps that. That's all I really have. Write that down and think about that, guys.
Only thing I have, and I don't know if you saw it, but first things first, Nick Wright finally moved Mahomes from atop his Mahomes mountain and put Lamar up there. So pretty crazy, man. Whether that's Bolton, material for Mahomes or not, he's got to get it going, man. I'm not gonna lie. He's been all right in terms of what he has to work with, but again, if you have no run game,
it's just hard. He has to be Superman.
So, yeah, but again, Giants, and then a chance to face Lamar and reclaim that spot, on your Mahomes mountain. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Truly means a lot. You can follow us on social. Just type in For What It's Worth podcast. You'll see us there. Again, Tyrone, Thornton, Calvin, Silvers. And until next time, have a good one.
Adios.